Alright, time for number 3. This is a matrix, and it's a system. You have to use a matrix to solve it. So let's write this system as a matrix. You gotta have your points there. You got 2, 3, 8, and then 5, -2, 1. Don't forget that when you have subtract, you have to keep the negative with that number that's next. So it's -2 there. Okay? We're trying to get this to reduced row echelon form, so it'll say 1, 0, and then a number, and then 0, 1, a number. Okay, that's the goal. So we need to do certain things to our matrix. I look at my coefficients here, and I notice that I can either A, start with the middle ones and try to get a 1 there, or I can start with the first ones. If I were to take this 2 here and times it by 2 and subtract it from 5, I would end up with 1, which is what we're trying to get with. Right? Remember? We're trying to get a 1 in our reduced row echelon form. So I'm going to leave row 1 the same right now, but I'm going to take row 2, and I'm going to subtract 2 times row 1. Okay? And that's going to give me my next matrix. Row 2 didn't get touched. Here, let's move this over so I can maximize my space. My first row hasn't been touched, but my second one, I gotta do 2 times the top one and subtract it from the second one. So you take this top one, you times everything by 2, you get 4, 6, 16. And you have to subtract that all from the bottom row there. Actually, let's leave those there. Okay. 5 minus 4 gives you the 1. -2 minus 6 is -8. And then 1 minus 16 is -15. Okay, so here's our new matrix. We need to now keep working at trying to get 1, 0, 0, 1. Now that I have a 1 here, this is a good spot to be in, because you can take that and times it by whatever number you want, and you can then subtract it from the other line. So we're going to do that. We're going to take row 1, and we're going to subtract 2 times row 2. And we're going to leave row 2 the way it is. Okay? So row 1 minus double of row 2. Well, then you got 2 minus 2 for your first part. 3 minus -16. So that's going to be 19. Right? This -8 gets doubled, and then you subtract it from 13 to get 19. And then you got to do -15 doubled, which is -30. You have to subtract that. So you got 8 minus -30, and that is positive 38. And we'll move on to the second row. Second row hasn't been touched from the previous version, so that's the way it is. I noticed this top row, I do have 0 and then 19. Well, to get that 19 to turn into a 1, you just divide by 19. So we're going to take that first row, and we're just going to divide the whole thing by 19, and we'll leave row 2 the same for now. So first row, well, 0 divided by 19 is 0, 19 divided by 19 is 1, and 38 divided by 19 is 2. Second row, you're looking at 1, -8, -15. And now we can take this 1 in our first row there, times it by any number we want, and combine that with the second row. Let's take the first row, we'll leave it the way it is, but we'll take the second row and add 8 times the first row. Because if you take this 1 times by 8, and you add it to this -8, you get 0, which is what we're looking for. The first row is 0, 1, 2. And then the second row, if you double 0, you times by 8 and add it to 1, you just get 1. Take 1, times it by 8, add it to -8, you get 0. Take 2, times it by 8, add it to -15, you're going to get 1. And we are now actually, if you interchange your rows here, which is a legal move, you get 1, 0, 1, and then 0, 1, 2. Remember, this is like an augmented matrix, where X is your first column and Y is your second column. This says that X is 1 and Y is 2. And that should be it for number 3.